yeah, it's great. So we've had National Badger Week, National Badger Day last year, and now it's grown into a full week, which is brilliant. It's growing a lot. We've got a whole week to pack in lots of different events. So we're all around the country to celebrate the badger, wonderful animal that it is. Obviously, probably today, later on in the debate, and obviously, well, all this week, for a while now, we're going to be discussing what's happened in the last sort of 24 hours with the EU referendum results, and regarding this sense, the effect it's going to have on the environment and nature, and perhaps the badger too. But I think, well, this would have been the top of my list if I was to vote, but obviously I wasn't old enough, unfortunately, this time. However, so looking to the future generation, unfortunately, as you know, only 18 plus, 16, 17-year-olds didn't vote, but throughout the campaigns, there was a lot of talk looking to the future, for future generations, and I wanted to include this in my talk today because I suppose when I was putting it together, I'm still in shock of what happened, and obviously this effect on the environment, which could be quite could be really quite bleak. So it's going to be discussed a lot more today, but from losing environmental protection laws, this community we had within the EU fighting against global issues, climate change, and also vital habitats, vulnerable habitats which are losing protection, which could have really bad impacts. On Thursday night, as Dominic just mentioned, I write a blog. So on Thursday night, I use this for sharing information, making awareness, and putting my opinion across too. I was writing my blog just before, I suppose, the following morning when we find out, writing about the effects on nature, whether that was including, like I've just said, about including the environment, or also the species which bring us together within Europe. So every day going onto my patch, it's not the most exciting place in the world, a nice woodland, a few fields, a meadowland, but I love watching all the wildlife there. So most days seeing swifts, and swifts are absolutely wonderful to watch, the noise, the shape, the bird itself. Seeing them on my patch, seeing them fly over, and of course they're a migratory species, and putting that into, we're also seeing them across in other parts of Europe, and they have migratory birds flying over part of the continent. So in a strange perception of time and place, they bring us together, and we all enjoy them. And I suppose that's the same with the badger as well, which we also see in the rest of Europe. On a more positive note, I suppose it was really, really great to see a lot of young people voting. Because they do care. I mean, I speak to a lot of engaged young people my own age, and we do care. I mean, there's this bit of a stereotype that young people didn't really have an opinion, but they do. And obviously this was put into action, and this was done in a really great way. And obviously we had that big majority of young people voting Remain. So it's really great to see that. And I suppose from looking at that, I think there is environmental factors in on that. So there is a lot. So for thinking to the future, thinking for the effect on the environment, and young people are thinking about issues like climate change, because that's going to affect them in their future. And I believe that's one reason why there is such that large vote for Remain from younger generations. But however, although I still believe this, there's obviously still this large gap between young people and nature. There's a large gap. There's not really a great connection. I mean, parents of today's generation, they went outside when they were younger. They spent more hours outside enjoying natural surroundings. And this is a generation where now we're facing a lot of environmental problems. We're facing environmental problems. Whereas today's generation, I mean, 8 to 21%, only 21% 8 to 12-year-olds actually get outside and have a decent connection with nature. I mean, it's scary. I mean, 8 to 12-year-olds, they're children that haven't been influenced by social norms yet. They haven't, they haven't gone to sort of secondary school. They haven't, hopefully, haven't been influenced by sort of technology and gadgets. And it's really quite scary because I suppose as they're getting older, the social norm sort of concept gets more in the way. So maybe perhaps a less direct understanding, a weaker understanding of direct issues, less direct issues which concern the environment. So anyway, I've got a little bit carried away with that. Was talking about the EU results, but I thought it was really important just to sort of mention it and talk about, obviously it relates to wildlife and relates to young people, and of course obviously that all in the mix with the badger, which is why we're here today. And obviously National Badger Week is absolutely worth it because badgers are a fantastic species. I could go on and stand here and rave about them all day. I go and watch them on a regular basis. I've got sets near my house which I go and watch the badgers there, and they're absolutely wonderful to see. So I mean, I can still remember my first experience of seeing them. Like, it was only last night. So there's such powerful looking animals, the volume of them, and contrasted with the secrecy they have, it's almost magical, really. And this is the same as I feel every time I go and watch them at the local set. They never fail to sort of amaze me and make me realise why we're so lucky to have them in the UK. I suppose, unfortunately, something that made me aware that they do face issues. There's still something that I wouldn't have expected after watching these animals and thinking how amazing they are. How can anything be going wrong with them? Was the one time I went down to my local set, and I'd been away, I think, and I'd come back after, and there was a lot of disruption. So there was trees chopped around, there was some digging, and some of the holes had been filled in. And straight away I thought, this isn't right. So anyway, I got in touch with the local badger group. They helped me sort it out. We got local wildlife crime officer involved. But I was quite young at the time, and I didn't realise that this goes on. And I was really angry about it. As these were I knew these animals. They were like my friends, really, sort of watching them. And obviously I discovered that this happens a lot. It isn't just a one-off case, it happens a lot, and it happens to other wildlife in the UK and around the world as well. So since I've sort of tried to make other people aware of this and thought about it. And this has included young and older people. So younger people, I think it's really important to be targeting those. I go into schools quite a bit, and when I'm in the school, I show them videos, not just of badgers, wildlife, what I've seen, video clips, and obviously the badger clips. So I've got ones of them fighting, tumbling over, scratching, and they're so funny, they're so brilliant to watch. And with the trail camera, you've got them in their natural environment. And the children, they just love it. They watch it and they're just awing. It's like physically, like their eyes are bulging out of their heads. They really do think it's brilliant, and they really do love it. And that's what it's all about. Hopefully, by seeing that, they want to go outside. They want to go and explore this. And when they've got that passion, they care and they want to act. They want to fight for our badgers. They want to fight for our wildlife here in the UK now and also in the future. So it is possible to be inspiring the next generation of young people to get outside and to hopefully change try and help change what's going to happen, what's happening now and what could happen in the future too.
You finished?